Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Yes, this feels a little bit weird. This is the first video I've created in 5 days. I mean, I know I've appeared on virtually every podcast under the sun, but that's just me. But in terms of video creation, no, it's been a little while. So why is that? Quickly, well, to be totally frank with you, I needed to, I think, recoup some sanity points. I needed to regain some semblance of self again, because when you deal and talk about the stuff that I talk about on an almost daily basis, it could drive a person crazy. And then you turn things off and you walk out the front door and you suddenly realise that the world's actually a pretty damn normal place. It truly is. And this microcosm of insanity, which is known as social media and the internet, this isn't a true representation of people, of what they're like, and their ideals, or the way that they would talk to you, respond to you, socially interact with you. No, it's an exaggerated mess. And it's allowed me time just to do some cool things. I painted up some figures, which I was really happy with. I've watched some films and TV. I've read some back issue comics. I've read some Indiegogo comics, crowdfunded stuff. And it's just allowed me to regroup and sort of compose. And during these musings, I came to the conclusion that it's the mainstream comic book industry that's a hate group. Now, when I say hate group, I don't mean, of course, they're a bunch of Nazis or anything like that. That would be crazy to say something like that. No, what I'm saying is that this is an organisation whose only purpose at the moment is to spew hatred. It's in every single thing that they do. It's in the comics and the characters that they hate. You can see the way that they disrespect them. You can see the way that the artists have belittled them, that the writers don't care about them, the creators don't care about them. You can see it in their interactions on Twitter, which we'll get to very shortly indeed. You can see in the way that they talk to their own peers, which again, we'll get to very shortly indeed. The way that they try and destroy the lives of anyone that they come across, whether it be in Comicsgate, whether it be a regular person, whether it be a peer. The mainstream industry is nothing but hatred from the inside out. And Comicsgate, which has been branded a hate group. Who's it been branded a hate group by? The haters. And then their supporters, their foot soldiers, will just regurgitate the message without understanding anything. So when they're challenged, why are they racist? Why are they a hate group? They have no responses. And then you get the response of, well, they attack. They attack minority creators. No. One thing that is a constant strive that we see is we need equality. We need equality. I absolutely agree. There should be equality across the board. And do you know what comes with equality? It comes that you get treated like everybody else. You don't get preferential treatment. You don't get special powers or leniency. You get treated just like every single other person. And that means that you are open and prone to criticism just as much as any single solitary person. But when that happens, when they are judged equally amongst their peers, we get cries upon cries of, they're attacking us, they're attacking minority creators. You can't have it both ways. I know you want to have it both ways, because a lot of these people have been brought into the industry not on talent. And that's where you are worried, and that's where you fear this. Because if they were brought on talent, then you wouldn't have any problem with them being judged alongside every single solitary person. And other than that, we're down to ridiculous things like, well, Ethan's signature looks a bit like a swastika if you angle it in a certain way and turn it and twist it. And when you're getting down to that sort of argument, you know you're dealing with absolute buffoons. Hate group my ass. I've never seen so much love and support within a group of people. And I'll get to that shortly as well. But let's deal with the trash first. Tom King. Tom King is a comics book professional, a writer, who is, whether you like it or not, revered as one of the best in the business at the moment. I think that Tom has a lot of talent. I think he can be an exceedingly good writer, but tends not to be. He tends to almost self-sabotage. He has some good ideas, and then when he starts to play out these ideas, he can't help but go back to his mummy issues and woman issues that he has quite clearly. And so his work tends to devolve into terrible, weak, pathetic men. You know, probably a bit like Tom. And over the course of the last few days that I've taken some time away and taken stock, there has been a huge bunch of attacks. We've had Cecil from Comicsgate, who had his Dynamite cover for Vampirella pulled due to pressure. We've had recently, of course, the cancellation crew go after Sean Gordon Murphy on more than one occasion. We had the utterly ridiculous comics book pledge, written by women, that they pushed onto Tom King to get out there, which essentially said, hey, we in the mainstream comic book industry promise not to sexually assault anyone at work. But if we see anyone or anything happening, we will tell. While people like Tess Fowler and Mags Versaccio say on Twitter openly to the public, we know where the bodies are buried, but we're not going to say anything. Because they don't truly care about their peers. They don't truly care about their workmates or work colleagues that might be vulnerable or at risk. It's all about control and power, because these people are sick. As I said, the mainstream comic book industry is nothing but hatred. So last night, we have Tom King attack one of his own peers, a professional of God knows how many decades now, at least 3 decades, Jae Lee. Today, DC put out an alternate cover to Rorschach by Jae Lee, who has also done covers for Comicsgate. He did the cover, or is doing the cover, for Cyberfrog 2 Wrecked Planet, which he was contracted to do by Ethan Van Sciver and paid for his work. That's it's called capitalism. I know you hate it, but that's what it is. It's called business. It's somebody had a skill set and they were hired for their skill set to do a job. It's what many people do in life every day. But Tom King takes exception to that. A hate group. Again, they have to constantly try and associate Comicsgate with a hate group because they need it to be side by side. Because if you take away the hate group from Comicsgate, what do you have? You have a thriving industry of independent comic book creators that are making bank left, right, and centre because people are rejecting the mainstream trash which is coming out today. And we had Tom Taylor recently come out on Twitter, yeah, the figures are out for 2019 in comics. People say, oh, we don't want to buy your SJW shit. But here we are, better than ever. And then you look at the stats, and DC and Marvel make up 14% of the money generated. 14. Pathetic. The big two in comics in America. Pathetic. Whereas crowdfunding was up by 25%. So unless they continue, if they stop to continue to put Hate Group and Comicsgate next to each other, what do they get? They get a rival industry which is chipping away at them in pretty big numbers right now. And that is scaring the living shit out of them. Because they want to control the comic market. And to control the comic market, you can't have competition. So, DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. I reached out to them to express my deep disappointment. Far as I'm concerned, this is the cover to Rorschach 1. And this is not the Jae Lee cover which he's referencing. Now, what's very interesting is Jae Lee, as you might gather by the name, is actually an Asian creator. Tom, of course, recently took his pledge to listen. But he doesn't want to listen. He wants to cancel because Jay has known Ethan for 30-odd years or so. Going all the way back to... Let's bring it up here. Are we on here? Oh, wrong one. Where? No, yeah, here we go. Yeah. Boosh, there we go. Going all the way back to 1996 here, where Jae Lee did a cover for Cyberfrog 4. So it seems to be a return, the circle coming back round to complete. Jay did a cover on the original run as Cyberfrog, and now he's back 24 years later to do a cover on the new run as Cyberfrog. It's like poetry, it rhymes, etc. So Tom King, this is, goes out and attempts to attack one of his own peers without even talking to him. Not that Tom has any fucking right to do so, because as he's stressed, DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. Now, just a few tweets up, 6 hours later, Tom has decided to actually speak with Jay after receiving a barrage of criticism. I spoke with Jay. He's not on Twitter because, of course, the world revolves around Twitter for these weirdos. Why didn't you, if you wanted to speak to him, contact a colleague and try and get his details, his email, his phone number? That wouldn't be a hard thing to do. But no, you took to Twitter to try and cancel him because you're a piece of shit. A piece of shit that's been indoctrinated into a hate group. A group of people that know nothing but hatred, that don't understand discourse, discussion. No, cancellation is all you know. Destruction is all you know and all you care about. Because mainstream comics is a hate group built foundation-wise upwards on hatred. Hatred for the industry, hatred for the characters, hatred of themselves, hatred of their audience, hatred of selling and being responsible for numbers and keeping the company going. Nothing but hate. Didn't know Comicsgate existed because it's... Never mind. If I pick up everything, I'm going to be here all day. And doesn't support hate of any kind. Neither does Comicsgate. We're all good. Best possible outcome. In other words, Jay probably told Tom to fuck off. In a nice way, probably. But probably just told him, Tom, go fuck off. Hey, Tom, do yourself a favour, mate. Yeah? Okay. This is the amount of hatred that Comicsgate has, folks. A few days ago, as you may know, Cecil had his Dynamite cover removed due to pressure by people. They went mad. They went crazy. Cecil, who's a lovely guy, done many shows with him now. He's hilarious. He's funny. He is just a regular person. This is the thing. He's just a regular guy. He's got a sharp wit, sure. But he's just a regular guy who you could talk to like a regular person. You know, like once upon a time, we used to talk to people, and how we still talk to our friends, you know, off Twitter. But on Twitter, it's a veritable minefield of what you can say or not say without getting the lynch mob after you. But I digress. But he put out a cover, and on one side there was Vampirella, and on the other side there was Lady Death, I think. And it was a funny cover. Sorry, it's Red Sonja. Red Sonja on one side and Vampirella on the other. And it was set up like this. And they went crazy. Why did they go crazy? Because Cecil, who is just a regular guy, and I don't mean that in any disrespect whatsoever, who's a regular chap, was bringing in huge numbers for his Indiegogo campaign. And he had sold $10,000 worth of covers in a couple of days of the campaign being live. A couple of days. Beating industry professionals like Frank Cho into the ground. Why? Because Comicsgate supports its creators. And why? Because Cecil deserved it. He earned it. Sure, he's not a comics book pro. Sure, he hasn't been doing this for X amount of time. But what Cecil has been doing is what Comicsgate is all about. And that is creating a community, and I know it's such a horrible word to use nowadays, and it's sad that it is, but a community of people that actually feel like customers again. That have their creators, that have people associated with them, coming onto streams, reading some stuff, having a giggle and a laugh at it, having a giggle and laugh at themselves as well. Because self-deprecating humour is a funny thing as well as taking a piss out of others. It's called balance. It's called karma. Putting out entertainment for the masses. Treating them like they are valued customers. And hoping that the entertainment that they put out, hoping that the comics that they've put out prior, or the stuff that they're working on, or the stuff that they're hopefully going to do, is sufficient enough to win your business. And they've built up this, again, community of people that just want to have fun. Just want to have fun. Don't want to be lectured to. Don't want to have intersectional feminism and all that shit in their comics books. Don't want to have a Captain America that looks like he's on a diet of lentils and piss. That don't want to have their huge heroes reduced, Tom, to bubbling, simpering cucks like Batman. That don't want to destroy the family unit because they want to push their own agenda like Bendis with Superman. And destroy and annihilate sales for those comics. They want to have fun. They want to feel like customers again. And they want good product to go alongside it. So Cecil has that comic taken away from him. That cover taken away from him. And he's been very open. It hurt. But do you know what went a long way to Cecil realizing where love truly is his campaign was on $176,000 when he had his cover cancelled. Just a few days later, people have flocked to his campaign to support him. Ethan Van Sciver, John Malin, they have lent their own characters to the cover. So, Vampirella gone, Heather Swain takes her place. Red Sonja gone, Lilith from Graveyard Shift takes her place. The cover is back to how it was, and now it feels whole. Because this is where the true love is. Comicsgate. Love not only from the creators, but love right back from the customers who appreciate it. And you say you can't put a price on that. Well, just in a few days, he's gone up nearly $40,000. Does that sound like a hate group to you? No, that sounds like a group of people came and supported the ass off Cecil. Just like when John Maylen released Graveyard Shift Volume 3 a couple of days ago. $104,000 already in 2 days. Massive support. Just when Dan Frager, after being away for so long from comics, returns to do his Black Flag again, $173,500 by people who want to support a lovely guy. Can't speak highly enough of this guy. And Ethan Van Sciver, of course. Caesar himself. The person who they attack on a almost minute basis, rakes in over $1,045,000 on the sequel, surpassing just about the first one in way less time. Way less time. This isn't a hate group. This is a group which people are flocking to, that people are loving, that people are receiving. The only hatred that is coming anywhere is from the mainstream comics book industry. And that will only expedite its fall. So I know, sorry, I went on for a bit, but, you know, it's been a little bit, and I needed to get some things out there. So I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. I've got 2 Indominus box sets arriving today. I'm going to live stream later on when they arrive, and let's have a look and let's have some fun. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.